The 5 stages to solve an MCQ based question paper or an UPSC prelims question paper. So my name is Sivarajarajendran and I have attempted this exam or UPSC exam for 9 times. In that I have managed to write 8 mains with 6 interviews. So before going into the video, we have to note 2 facts. One is that UPSC GS prelims paper 1 is a 100 question paper or a 100 question MCQ based question paper. And you have to also know that it is a 2-hour exam. So we have to solve 100 questions in 2 hours. So the first stage, see, in any exam you have to know that the examination paper, if it is a 100 question paper examination, the question will definitely have easy questions, tough questions and something around logical medium questions. What I have observed in UPSC is that every question paper that I've attempted, or every question, you can go back and check the question paper, every question paper will have 30 easy question or 25 to 30. 25, let us assume I am taking a higher margin, 30, but the question paper can have 25 as well. So it is our duty to solve these question papers, and without solving that we cannot clear this exam. But how do we do that? Means in the first 45 minutes. So if you see these easy questions, whichever I am describing, this may not be in the first 30 questions, or this may not be in the middle, or this may not be in the end. The examiner or the UPSC examination is not that easy to actually generalize like that. But how they do it is that they will actually have these easy questions distributed all across the question paper from 1 to 100. Maybe the 100th question can be an easy question, or the 50th question can be an easy question, and the first question can be an easy question as well. So it is our duty to find these 30 easy questions. This is based on the analysis which I have done in preliminary examination. It varies from exam to exam, but 25 to 30 definite easy questions will be in this preliminary examination, and in the first 45 minutes. So whenever you go inside the examination hall, immediately start looking for these easy questions. And if you see the next stage, this is the next stage. The next stage is that, see, many actually I have found what they do is that they actually mark the answer in the paper and they do not mark it in the OMR sheet. I have seen many in the examination hall, actually in the last minute they start marking, and the whole problem of marking becomes a problem. And I have even seen some people crying in the last minute and asking for 5 more extra minutes so that they can mark it in the OMR sheet. You should not go into all these problems. So what you have to do is that, see, in the first 45 minutes you are able to identify these 30 questions. You have actually gone through the from first question to 100 questions, and you have identified all the 30 questions. So it is your duty to mark these 30 questions, and you should next see this. Next point is that when you are going through the question paper, when you are able to understand and identify the easy questions, immediately you will be able to identify the 15 to 10 difficult questions. As I said, UPSC has 30 easy questions. It also has relatively maybe 10 questions. I am putting it in a higher number, 15, but 10 questions, let us assume, are tough or difficult. So when you are going through these papers, in the first 45 minutes you would have identified the easy questions and you should have marked them, and you should have identified the 10 difficult questions as well. And if you see, once in the 45 minutes, this is how I solve these papers. Once after the 45 minutes is over, I will look back in the OMR sheet and I will be very confident, because 30 questions are in my cutoff. So for example, the previous video, please, anyone has not seen the previous video, please go through the video. I would have said that you should have 50 net. 50 net means 100 marks. So in that 100 marks or a 50 net based preliminary examination question paper, I have achieved 30 easy questions. That is 60 marks. I need only maybe in the sense 20 more questions. That is 40 more marks. I'll be able to clear the examination very easily. And for doing that, I have 60 more questions. For clearing 20 more questions net, I have 60 more questions, which people say is difficult, but it is not difficult. It is very, very logical. And UPSC question paper, or this is where the examination comes. And this is the most important part of UPSC civil services examination, prelims examination. And this is where whether you are a serious aspirant, or you are an IAS, IPS, or you are a future IAS, IPS, will be decided in this part, because this is the logical part. See, easy questions everyone can solve, in a sense that easy questions are common for everyone. This is where you distinguish yourself as an officer. This is where people say that you actually many guess or take guesses, or chumma abde எழுதிட்டேன், அப்படியே ஆன்சர் வந்து I just marked it, அப்படியே I did those questions and it got clear. No, it does not happen that way. There are many other examinations where you can actually take a guess. For example, TNPSC examination is there, where you can there is no negative marking, and you can easily take a guess for any question. Last minute, if you have not marked any question, you can just mark and come. But UPSC civil service is not like that. Here you cannot just mark anything. Here you have to analyze and assess and take a proper decision for marking these questions. So in the first 45 minutes, you actually have these. Now, for example, see this. So 45, so 1.5, so 1.145. So I said 2 hours examination. In that, 1.45 minutes has passed, and you have marked 30 questions, or 30 easy questions, and you have identified the 10 tough questions. So you have left the 10, let us assume left the 10 questions. That is how I will approach this exam. And in that 1 hour which I have said, I will mark these 60 logical questions. This is where, for example, I come to A and B, and I mark whether it is A or B. I will have a confusion. But we have to, for clearing this exam, we have to approach these logical questions as well. So, but 15 minutes are left now. So 10 minutes. So now 15 more minutes are left. In the fourth stage, you have to, now this is the fast thing. Next 10 minutes, what you have to see is that you have to check through the whole paper. You should see that, because sometime what happens is that we would have marked something very easy. Let us assume very easy question I would have marked in the question paper, but I would not mark in the OMR sheet. Sometimes it does happen. So last 10 minutes, you have to check randomly. Fast you have to check. You have to be very thorough whether you have marked, or you have gone through all the questions, and you have not left even a single question that you have marked in the question paper. And the last stage is, for example, last 5 minutes. This is what I do. Last 5 minutes, I check the things which I have left. For example, in this discussion, you would have found that 10 difficult question. I would have actually left those 10 difficult questions, and I would see through the paper if I am able to write those 10 difficult questions also. But mostly I would mark around 85 to 90 questions. So this is the average number of questions I do mark. And this is the methodology. For example, if you are able to divide the time period into all these 5 stages, and if you are able to solve these things accordingly, you will be able to get better scores.